Hello, I'm Linda Galindo, and welcome to my very first episode of Smart Life. Thank you for being here. What is Smart Life? Smart Life is going to be a podcast that's going to focus on planning for the future, protecting your very own, protecting yourself, your family, your business. So let me tell you a little bit about myself so that you understand the passion behind my work and my mission of Smart Life. 24 years ago, my husband and I started a business, a home inspection business. In over 24 years, we serviced over 4,000 agents and conducted over 23,000 inspections. That was 23 families that I earned their trust, going into their homes and inspecting their home for safety. So here it is. I'm a full-time mom running a successful business, but through all this success, I forgot the most important thing was to plan for my future. So a few years ago, I suffered a cancer scare, and that cancer scare changed my life forever. I used to look in the mirror every day from the minute I was told that I had cancer, and I realized that I'm not leaving anything for my son for his future. I'm not leaving anything for my husband. I didn't plan ahead. What was I going to do? I now have cancer. I don't qualify for life insurance. And that really just bothered me. It upset me. I was upset with myself. And I said, how could I have done that? I'm such a smart businesswoman. What happened? Where did I miss that? But you know what it is? It's the financial literacy. They don't teach you that in school. They don't teach you how to protect yourself. They don't teach you how to protect your family. So here I am now with cancer, breast cancer, and I'm realizing now what am I going to do, So I decided to not debunk the system, but I decided to go into the life insurance and financial industry to see if there was anything that I can do to fix this. Because I now realize that I have cancer. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to work in the future. What is my husband going to do? How are we going to pay our bills? It's something it's reality. We all face it. And even though we have insurance, I'm still living. But little did I know that in the insurance industry, there's such a thing as life insurance with living benefits. So, back when I was age 32, I was sold a term life insurance, right? So I'm giving you a case scenario because I'm pretty sure other people have gone through this. So I'm sold a term life insurance at age 32 to be a bundle of my car insurance. It was just for, a cheaper rate, correct? But I'll tell you something. Now being in the life insurance industry and the financial industry, I don't know if I would sell just your typical life insurance term policy to a 32-year-old. Because more than likely, we're going to outlive that term policy, true? So anyhow, being part of, smart living or smart life, it has allowed me to really look behind the scenes. What's available for our families? What's available for our children? What's available to someone that is going through cancer? Okay, another case scenario. I have a paraplegic brother. He doesn't qualify for life insurance. But is there anything that I can do to help my brother and I, because my mother passed away 2 years ago, but what would help my older brother and I face that reality when time happens? Now, let's think about this. What about if my paraplegic brother outlives my brother and I? It's our responsibility as loved ones to leave things pre-planned and, pre-organized. But that's where I find it that Smart Life is here to help families. There's a better way than certain cultures that when someone passes on, we have these car washes and these GoFundMe campaigns. That's not necessary. It's not necessary if you plan ahead, if you sit down. There's so many options. I mean, so many options that I was so surprised. And when I went into the life insurance and financial industry, I truly, truly, truly fell in love with it because I found the answers I was looking for. Although my husband and I are nearing retirement age, there's still a chance. So you don't have to sit there and say, it's over. I didn't plan right, and now you're out of choices. No, you're not. I can tell you personally, you're not. So now, I'm here, and this is my mission now. Smart Life and our staff at Smart Life are here to work hand in hand with families, with businesses, and help you plan ahead to avoid the unexpected. The unexpected. What is the unexpected? It's illness that comes knocking at your door when you least expect it. And what do you do when that happens? I've seen so many case scenarios at funerals. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of the times, the one word or the one phrase I hear is, what am I going to do now? Well, I'll tell you, I've also seen the other side of the spectrum when they're very prepared and they're planned and they organized everything. And the phrase that I hear is, my husband had it all figured out. And you see a smile. So when you see tears, it's usually because you're facing the reality of not being ready. But when you see someone calm, it's because everything's planned, pre-planned. Everything was set for them. The worst, we love our kids. We adore our kids, right? So if we love our kids, the last thing we want to leave them is with that pain, that heartache of having to prepare the funeral for their parents. But if we sit here and we strategically plan of how you want this to end, we can. There's no right or wrong. There's nothing that, holds us back to plan for the future. There was this one TikTok that I seen, and it was so true. This has nothing to do with life insurance, but it's about also financial planning, because Smart Life is going to encompass more than just life insurance. It's not just about life insurance. It's not just about retirement. It's about protection, pre-planning, financial planning. So there was this one TikTok that really made me think. It was this young lady, beautiful, driving a convertible car with her scarf flying. And she had just broken up, or her 10-year relationship left her. And you know what she said? She said, life happens. But it showed a little glimpse that she had over $350,000 in the bank. She had a 401k. She had an annuity. And she had over $32,000 in the bank. That was her security. It was a relationship. I'm pretty sure it hurt her, but she was stable. Now, what happens to our young daughters, the younger generation, that doesn't have that stability, doesn't have a bank account, doesn't have a 401k, and the only thing she really knew or had was a 10-year relationship of a boyfriend that just dumped her? What do you think her take in life is? She's not stable. She's going to cry and she's going to suffer through this breakup. So that's what we're here for. We're not trying to sell insurance to just anybody. We want to structure it. There's so many different plans and different strategies, like this one. A baby is born. you put $5,000 into a baby policy. Let it generate. It is a cash value policy. Yes, it's an IUL. Yet IUL is not just for anybody. There's specific people that it's structured for. But in this particular case of an IUL for a baby, you put in $5,000 a year, not a month, a year for 10 years. And then you stop paying into it. When that baby gets to 50 years old, he'll have a little over $1 million. I wish I had $1 million at age 50, right? So that's what Smart Life is all about. We're going to be sitting down in different segments with different professionals. I'm so overwhelmed with the amount of people that want to be part of this podcast, because financial literacy, you don't find it anywhere. You won't hear it in school. They don't teach you how to pre-plan ahead. They don't talk about funerals. They don't talk about life insurance. They definitely don't talk about showing you how to get out of debt. But why? Why should we pay 16%, 21%, 29% to a credit card when there's strategies that will pay you that in return? Annuities. So later on in segments, we'll talk about different, term policies and IULs and annuities and all these financial products. This is my first episode, so we're not going to get into that. But what I want to do is share how to understand this in the most layman terms, because I'll tell you something. I did not know. I didn't understand it. My forte was running a business, making my business successful, marketing. I'm great with marketing. But finance was not my forte. But I'll tell you something now. Financial literacy is my passion. I have regrets. I wish I would have done this years ago when I was in college, but not really. The way my life shifted, the way I was able to help families get into their home, gave me great satisfaction. And shout out to Pro Inspections. That's our company, and we take pride in what we do. We love our real estate agents. We love the real estate industry. And we're here for the long run to continue helping families, to instill that trust. But now I'm in a whole totally different industry. And it gives me great pride to be able to sit down with people to help them understand in the easiest of terms. Because I didn't understand it. I'm educated, but I sure didn't understand it. So I broke down every single policy, and I wanted to understand it. I wanted to understand how it worked. A lot of us fear buying financial products because we don't know if they're real, if they're not. Some cultures decide or want to have their money underneath their mattress. Well, that's safe. You're not going to lose anything there. But there's also ways to grow your money without that risk factor of losing money to the stock market. So this is all stuff that I have learned and have passionately just absorbed everything so that I can share with you. To share with you my passion. To share everything I know. And this is my first episode. So we're going to be growing together. We're going to grow in this journey. I'm going to welcome questions. I'm going to welcome calls. But what I'm going to bring you are professional people like tax preparers, how to do this tax-free. We're going to have people talking about, what would be another one? Your home protection. So let me give you an easy one. I'll show you this. So you own your home. And I don't know how many of you have home protection, because PMI is not home protection. I want you to understand that, okay? Home protection is something that you would have set in the event that you should pass on and the home will be paid off for. So what kind of policy do you think that is? It's a simple 30-year term policy. That's it. So if you're in the ages of like, let's say 30 or 40 and you purchased your first home, that policy, if it, passes underwriting, of course, is going to cost you less than $75. Less than $75 to protect your home. To protect that if anything should happen, that home that you purchased for your family, for your wife, for your kids is paid off. Now, and actually, I just had a case scenario about that. The house, it was a mobile home. It cost him $430,000, but he wanted $500,000 policy, $500,000 coverage. So we got him the $500,000. And if, like, let's say he pays 20 years into it, now it's worth a lot less, or the mortgage will be a lot less. But if he happens to pass on at 22 years of age, the mortgage has now been brought down, but he still has a $500,000 policy. So his wife is going to end up with a $500,000 policy. The mobile home will be paid off, and she has extra money to be able to do something with it, whether it be college for her children, to continue just living life, but protected, and because the husband took the time to plan. So those are the strategies, those are the scenarios, those are the things that I am going to so proudly bring to my podcast to be able to help you understand the easiest of strategies to help you plan ahead. I look forward for a long journey with you. I look forward sharing with you. And I just look forward being able to be of any assistance to you, to your children, to your business, even to your pets. We have pet insurance, believe me. So anyways, it was a pleasure being here today. I am full of love and pride, and I just can't wait to continue sharing everything I learn along the way. Thank you for joining me. Linda Galindo with Smart Life.